That's right. That's right. 2-0 for the San Francisco 49ers, beating the Los Angeles Rams in a competitive game. We know the Rams were coming out of their own dub from last week, and a convincing one, shockingly. And now the Niners are closing up shop after a two-score deficit, after an outstanding offensive scoring drive. Washington Commanders choked. We had the New York Giants with a massive comeback after being down at least 7-28 against the Arizona Cardinals. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are undefeated with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, starting quarterback. Jets pissed the bed after losing to the Cowboys 30-10, and now the Niners beating the Rams. Even though our track record is pretty consistent against the Rams, I think we're 5-1 over the past 6 seasons. We've been undefeated. Even around the Super Bowl run, to even get there, they were still struggling. Brock Purdy 17 of 25 up the field. Good passing down the field. He did not throw an interception or a touchdown. It's been primarily over on the defensive performance. And Christian McCaffrey's outstanding run game. 116 off 20 carries. Got a touchdown. Averaged around 5.8 with a 51-yard carry around the field that nearly went to the end zone. As well as Deebo Samuel, that always performs well against the Rams. He actually led in receptions over Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk. And Juwan Jennings had a massive deep ball over from double coverage. So did Zay Flowers against the Bengals. Outstanding performance by the rookie receiver. But then Samuels, he was catching off the curl. Deebo was making guys miss. He's over his out of his nine targets, he caught 6. He was good whenever he was making short runs into nothing, when he was getting a catch over from the scrimmage, and he gained that over to a 15. He was outstanding from the field. Juwan Jennings made stuff work. Ayuk was making stuff work. When you can get around over 30 yards of receiving out of your receiving core, and just spread out the amount of receptions, especially over the offensive side of the ball, and they were getting some good carries over Deebo 38, and he rushed for his own touchdown around the red zone. Then a dwindling interception over in the second half, around later in the fourth quarter. It did not work out for Matthew Stafford. It felt like he was just getting terrible reads. Everybody was getting a deflection, especially Dre Greenlaw, with outperforming a majority of the defenders. Even Fred Warner, that got a massive pass deflection around the pocket early around the first half. Charvarius Ward was outstanding as well, but they weren't even the main guys. It was Deommodore Lenoir that even got an interception that took it around 21 yards deep until getting taken out of bounds. And Isaiah Oliver, I think around the second half on the last scoring drive for the Rams to even try to come back. And all they had was a garbage time field goal that only pushed them up 7 points down. I felt like it was just poor time management, and the Rams could have made this game a lot closer than they should have when they just closed the deficit down by under double digits. It was a poor game. Receiving core caught me by surprise because the Rams were keeping it close. It was around 17 apiece around the half. With Jordan Fuller, not as impressive as I thought. Stafford, he scrambled over second most over Bren Shonak and Atwall. They had to start Corinne Williams that barely was getting the ball rolling. His longest was around 8. And just, even though Stafford was passing the ball because they had no confidence around their rushing, their passing was outstanding. And that Nakakawa guy was outstanding. 147 yards over his 15 receptions. They were using him off a lot of short screen offensive playouts. Very impressive around the deep ball. And I think they were highly dependent over on their route running, hitting over in the curls, rocking down the post, and that's how Stafford got a massive interceptions. I think that got caught by Lenore because he was hitting around the post and he underthrew it so poorly. Man, it was just poorly disciplined, and we expect more from Stafford. That's a way more experienced quarterback that has more than a decade in the league. And I understand he has a lot of chemistry to go with because this is not the team that he was with 2 seasons ago that got him to the Super Bowl, that got him a Super Bowl ring. So we got to keep that. This is a more inexperienced young core, but they do have some uh, actual upside, upstanding offensive guys to go through. We know they're missing their starting running back, but he's not really much of a game changer to begin with. But rushing, even though we undervalue market wise, getting a good running game is actually pretty impactful. And it forced Brock Purdy to get a forced fumble around the second quarter, and Debo Samuel's even lost the ball a couple times. Still less than Lamar Jackson did. I don't know how high his track record of getting forced fumbled while scrambling around the pocket, but still, Kobe Durant was getting torched by Debo Samuels all night from Sunday, and it just felt like they were just getting outran. They could never stop around the field, even when they had all-pro corner Jalen Ramsey. It just felt like they had a terrible positioning, struggling covering zone, especially when the Niners can actually create more offensive chances and create a lot of yardage off of short gains, especially over their screen rush running form. That's why they can create so many offensive plays with Debo and McCaffrey. It's a lot of versatility the Niners have, and that's something that the Rams are struggling with. Thanks, they're pretty much going to be developing this offense. But besides that, undefeated in road games right now. This is not a good look for the Rams that are now winless at home. Niners haven't even taken their homestand yet, and that's already going to be a struggle, knowing that after a 2-game road trip up this week, this Thursday, I know YTC will be streaming it. I'll be there to mock him if we win. After a redemption game, after getting blown out by 40, they're probably going to lose another 40, knowing they're dealing with the best defense in the NFL, that have the best road record in the NFL, against the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football. Possibly I'll be able to stream that, but we'll see. That's it coming from Sidelines Production. We will be going over further sports analysis, including the San Francisco 49ers that will be your future Super Bowl champions. I'm kidding, no bias aside. But good game, close game, especially from a team that wasn't pictured to even peak at the second best record over in the NFC West. But we'll see in the future, because we can't really be judging most of these teams because they probably have not a lot of experience over in the snaps. We can't really identify most of their offense yet. So we got a quarter season to go, so we'll wait until further analysis later in the season. So that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. We'll be back later with future content. Enjoy the rest of your day.